Even when nothing is happening, your mind is still busy. You lie down to rest and thoughts start racing. You finally get a quiet moment and suddenly you remember everything you haven't done. It's not loud on the outside, but inside it never really stops. And after a while, that constant mental noise becomes exhausting. We'll look at why your mind keeps running even when you want to relax, why silence can actually make thoughts louder, and what's really happening in your brain when it feels impossible to switch off. After having a better understanding of this, the noise starts to make more sense and it becomes easier to work with your mind instead of fighting it. Your brain didn't evolve to be calm. It evolved to scan for problems, risks, and unfinished business. That constant background thinking once helped humans survive. If something felt unresolved, the brain kept it active, just in case it mattered. But in modern life, there are always unfinished things. Messages not answered, decisions not made, goals not reached yet. So the brain rarely gets the signal that everything is safe enough to rest. Instead, it keeps cycling through thoughts, planning, and reminders, even when you're physically doing nothing. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. When things finally get quiet around you, your brain doesn't slow down, it speeds up. Because without distractions, your mind turns inward, and whatever emotions or concerns you've been avoiding suddenly get your full attention. So when you try to relax, you may notice worries, regrets, doubts, mental to-do lists. Not because you're broken, but because your brain is finally processing what it didn't have space for earlier. Silence doesn't create thoughts, it just reveals the ones that were already there. Another reason your mind stays busy is that stress doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's not panic or fear, it's just constant, low-level tension. Deadlines, expectations, uncertainty about the future. Your body may look relaxed, but your nervous system still feels like it needs to stay alert. And when your body is in that state, your brain keeps generating thoughts to stay prepared. So even when you're resting, your system hasn't fully shifted into recovery mode, which is why rest doesn't always feel refreshing. Overthinking often gets labeled as a bad habit, but psychologically, it's usually a form of protection. Your brain keeps analyzing because it's trying to prevent mistakes, avoid regret, prepare for uncertainty. Thinking feels productive, even when it's exhausting. So your mind learns that staying busy feels safer than sitting with uncertainty or uncomfortable emotions, which means silence can feel threatening. Not because something bad is happening, but because your brain is used to staying in control through thought. Here's the part that often gets overlooked. Your mind doesn't calm down because you force it to stop. It calms down when it feels safe, understood, not under constant pressure. That can come from slowing your pace intentionally, giving yourself mental closure on small tasks, allowing emotions instead of suppressing them. Calm isn't something you command, it's something that happens when your system feels supported, and that takes patience, not control. One small but powerful shift is creating moments of mental completion. Not huge life goals, just small psychological closures. Writing things down instead of carrying them in your head. Finishing one small task fully before jumping to the next. Letting yourself feel tired instead of pushing past it. These send your brain a subtle message. Something is resolved. And when your brain receives more of those signals, it slowly reduces the background noise. Not instantly, but gradually. If your mind feels busy all the time, it doesn't mean you're broken or doing something wrong. It usually means you've been carrying more mentally than you realize. Thinking is your brain's way of trying to protect you, even when it becomes overwhelming. So instead of getting frustrated with your thoughts, it may help to ask what they're trying to solve. Sometimes calm doesn't come from shutting the mind down, but from finally giving it a sense that it doesn't have to stay on guard. Your mind isn't noisy because it's failing you. It's noisy because it's trying to take care of you. And learning how to give it moments of safety can slowly bring the quiet you've been missing. Thank you for spending this time here, and for giving yourself space to understand your own mind a little better. Be safe and have a wonderful day.